The questions I am trying to answer throughout this presentation are: in what ways does elementary and high school push gender stereotypes onto the children attending the schools? How does this affect girls and boys in the subject they learn? How do the roles of teachers influence these gender stereotypes onto their students? And how do these teacher bias hold girls and boys back from their true potential? What are gender stereotypes? Gender stereotypes are passed down generalized views of what a woman and man is supposed to do to fulfill their roles. Gender typicality relates to gender stereotypes. In the reading, self-perceived gender typicality, gender-typed attributes, and gender stereotypes endorsement in elementary school-age children by Megan M. Patterson. Patterson discusses the term gender typicality, which has been endorsed by gender stereotypes. It is a way to understand how children see themselves as typical for their gender. Patterson also explains that cultural gender roles play a big part in the confirmation of gender stereotypes. Through these gender stereotypes, there are a lot of expectations and rules that girls and boys are put upon and pressured by to conform. How heterosexuality plays a part in gender stereotypes. Heterosexuality is very present in everyday life for girls and boys as they grow up. Disney films have used heterosexuality to influence children. The article by Karen A. Martin and Emily Kaziak, Hetero-Romantic Love and Heterosexiness in Children's G-Rated Films, it explains how heterosexuality has been in media for children for years. The way that heterosexuality has been present is that in Disney films, the relationships that are formed follow the guide of heterosexuality. The characters in these Disney films follow the gender stereotypes that have been around since Disney was created. In other words, Disney teaches children straightness, and by teaching straightness, it normalizes those relationships for those children. The normalization of these relationships lead to it being commonly accepted in society. The way gender stereotypes increase the heterosexual way of life is by keeping women and men separate from with how they are taught and what they see as normalized. This normalization is also based off the way men are seen as masculine and women are seen as feminine. This is used in Disney films by the prince coming to save the princess, and the princess seen as a strong male who is planning on saving the helpless princess. This can influence the gender stereotypes by increasing the view that women are seen as being passive, naive, sexually inexperienced, soft, nurturing, and accepting, and men are seen as being aggressive, sexually experienced, insensitive, ambitious, and demanding. Girls in the school system. Middle school girls are made aware that they are sexualized while also being gender stereotyped. Teacher gender stereotypes play a big role in the middle school girls' lives because of their own behavior towards these young women. In the article, Sexualized Gender Stereotypes Predict Girls' Academic Self-Efficacy and Motivation Across Middle School by Christia S. Brown, Brown explains that for girls, there is a sexualized gender stereotype that is prioritized over their schooling. There is a belief that girls are only at school to get the attention of boys, and Brown finds that girls who endorse sexualized gender stereotypes in middle school then have lower academic success later in life. This is based off of how teachers also influence those gender stereotypes. Boys in the school system. Boys are known to be not that good or focused on school as girls. That is because of gender stereotypes. In the article, do teachers equate male and masculine with lower academic engagement? How students' gender enactment triggers gender stereotypes at school by Ann Hader and Ursula Kessels explains that it's seen that girls outperform boys in the subject of academic success, and that is because of the idea that boys are lazy or don't care as much as girls. They understand that boys in the school system are set up for failure when there is teacher bias involved, and how the enactment of their gender can lead to an increase in gender stereotypes. Behavior plays a big part in what gender stereotypes are put upon boys by teachers. The article also states that when teachers would use gendered language, the behavior of the students would fit the box of those gender stereotypes. And when it wasn't used, they wouldn't behave in the way that supports those